Hello, everyone. Just gonna wait for everyone to get here. Little Nixie. Baby. And I apologize that it took me a little while to get here. I was supposed to be here like 1:30, but here we are now. um, and just a few announcements. Hey everyone, hello. So I just wanted to make a few announcements real quick before we really get started with the live chat. Hello everyone, hello, and this is Nixie, as you all know. So we are almost about to hit 20K on this channel. So we are at like 19,900 something. So when we hit 20,000, hi everyone, I would love to do a giveaway. And what I'm going to do is a giveaway for two different prizes. One of which will be the make a meme out of me type thing where you screenshot, and the other one will be where you have to answer three questions, and those answers will be in my videos. And if you've watched them already, you'll know the answers. If not, then all of my videos are on my channel. So I will announce that later this next Saturday when we hit 20,000. Hello, everyone. So me and Nixie here are with you guys. If you want to ask any questions, go right ahead. How's everyone doing today? Are you all doing well? Let me see. Aw, thanks so much, Justin. Aw, thanks so much, the Hidden Safari. I'm surprised I've gotten so close to 20K. I really didn't think it would get this far, but thank you guys. I love it. Hello. Hi, everyone. All right, questions. My juvenile Beardy is always scratching his or her face. I don't think it's shedding because she hasn't shed yet. Could this be a problem? So if they're scratching their face, then something itches, whether it's something stuck on their face or if they have shed somewhere. She has shed on her other side. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying not to move her too quick, but she has shed right here. Um, so if they're itching their face, then there's a reason for it. I would take like a little damp like towel because it might be sticky. I don't know if you've had like fruit or something on there, it might be sticky. Just get a little damp towel and like just kind of gently dab where they're scratching and see if that helps. Maybe there was something stuck there. Doo, doo, doo. Best tips to get your bearded to eat veggies on their own. Ah, that is that is always a struggle, I swear to you. Because this one was the hardest one I have ever had to get her to eat veggies. The only way I got her to eat veggies was by doing the method where you don't offer anything but. And I did that for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and she eventually ate. So, yeah, look at this little tubby chunk, the little baby tubs. Oh my goodness. All right, let me see. Why does my new baby keep one eye closed? There are many different reasons. There could be something too close to their eye. They could be focusing where the other eye is opening. So like this eye is closed and they're focusing over here, vice versa. Something could be in their eye. They could have an eye issue. I mean, there's so many different things that could be going on. I really don't know. Um, How do I keep humidity down in the cage? I don't want a water bowl in there. I just live in a very high humidity area. So there are a few different ways to keep the humidity down. First off, you need your temps to be correct. They should be anywhere from 110 degrees Fahrenheit on this side, like that's the hottest, to like, lowest on the hot side around like 105, but like 110 is prime. Then on the cool side, you want to make sure that it's anywhere from like 80, 85-ish degrees Fahrenheit. And if your temps are right, usually that'll help. If not, if you are in a really humid area, then you can use something like a sock full of uncooked rice, put it in there. Tends to soak up the humidity. If it's super, super humid, then you're going to need a large room dehumidifier. I have a large room dehumidifier in this room actually that's like way over there. I'm not gonna show the mess that is in my room right now, but it comes up to like my knees. I'm a pretty tall person, so large room dehumidifier, they're not cheap. And if you don't have the means for that, then I would get something called Damp Rid, DAMP-RID, Damp Rid. You can hang it next to the tank and it will generally help out. Ooh, she is crawling everywhere. Hi, baby. All right, let me see. My 2-year-old My 2-year-old recently started eating new foods, cactus pads and raspberries, with the added moisture affect his poo because a couple days after starting eating those, it was very wet. Yes, those are very high water content foods, so they are going to give a runny fecal. That's pretty, normal. How much do you spend on your babies monthly? Ah, that's a real good question, honestly. So I have three lizards and a crab. I really, I, I don't know. I spend less than the average because I have a breeding colony of roaches. So if I didn't have the colony, you just nix the colony, then that would add a couple hundred per month just on bugs. So I pay little to nothing really for them. Simply because I don't, I just, my colony has helped. I mean, I have a large supply of other things. Like, I buy in bulk. So, like, the only thing I'm paying for monthly for them is greens. And that's pretty minimal. So, that's like, I don't know, like, for a week, that's like maybe like $10 a week. It's really inexpensive, honestly. Like having a breeding colony, having a supply of mitts at home, having a supply of like all of the stuff you need at home is just a lot cheaper. And I actually have money saving tips up on my channel to help you in what I do because I'm telling you, I don't really spend a lot of money on my lizards. Like, granted, I spoil them and I get them things they don't need, like strollers and stuff like that, but like, I really don't spend a lot on them. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, it's awesome, Ryan. Thanks so much for watching the channel. And congrats on the new baby. My juvenile bear dragon doesn't look aware, but he's active and everything. Is that normal or not? I mean, what do you mean doesn't look aware? I mean, it's hard to help without like pictures. So if you send an image of what your dragon is looking like to my Instagram, Snapchat, those are the ones I'll get to quickest. Facebook, I tend to get to slowest because everyone bombards Facebook and there's just thousands of messages. So Instagram and Snapchat are going to be the ones I get to quickest. Send me a picture. Why does my bearded dragon try to swim in the water? Probably because they are needing the water. Either they are having an issue with shed, they are needing to cool down, they want water, or I don't know, they just like the water. Some dragons just like water. I currently have my mid-adult Beardy in a 40-gallon terrarium. What are you doing next? I currently have my adult Beardy in a 40-gallon terrarium, and I am moving to build him a 75-gallon vivarium. What kind of habitat decor should I have in the new 75-gallon enclosure? That's really up to you. That is completely up to you. So, just as long as you have the basic needs, of course, your lights, you need stuff for them to climb on, hides, basking spot, food bowl, um, substrate. You need substrate depending on whatever substrate you want to use. For me, I found that I really love the vinyl, the textured vinyl substrate. And for me, it looks like they're peel and stick ones, but I actually didn't stick any of them. Like for my flooring, you can actually take them up in pieces because I'm OCD and I like to clean in between the crevices and like to get under everything. I don't want that. I don't like the idea of everything sticking and not being able to move it. So it's really up to you. Getting things for them to climb on. Like the cool thing about a 75 gallon is you can put things in the back. Like you can create like a backdrop out of like styrofoam stuff and, create like little levels for them to climb on in the backdrop. So it's really up to you. There's a lot of space, and I'm sure your dragon will love it regardless of what you do. Okay. Aw, the hidden safari. That's so nice. Um, uh, what happened to Belly? Well, that is just a dark question. What happened to Belly? Well, you can go watch my the issue with vets video, and that tells the whole story. It's been up for months. What are the reasons why I got my new baby Lacey? I am so sorry. I read that wrong. You are the reason why I got my new baby Lacey, which is doing great, growing good. So I want to thank you so much. Aw. Well, thank you for watching, and I'm happy the tips have helped. How many crickets should I buy for my Birdie in one trip to the pet store? How many? It depends on how old they are, how many they eat. Like you should know your dragon's appetite. So for me, when I had Belly and Nix and was buying crickets, because I haven't bought crickets in like a year and a half almost. I'll be honest, I hate crickets. Um, but when I bought crickets for Belly and Nix, I would generally get a container of like 50 because like I wouldn't have them last for a week. Like I would buy them and then they would eat them within the next 2 days. So I would buy a container of 50 and then assume that they're both gonna eat 25. And then I'll feed them other bugs for the rest of the week. That's how I did it. So there are some people that buy like hundreds at a time, but keeping crickets is just like I'm good. The smell, the noise, nope. I'm good. I don't do crickets. Roaches are far better than crickets. Like just on the I just can't do them, man. They smell so bad. Like more power to y'all. They're a great feeder. There's nothing wrong with crickets. Don't get me wrong. I'm good. Hi, I'm with my friends and I really want a bearded dragon. Ah, you should get a bearded dragon then. They're awesome. My little baby right now is laying on my lap. She is just relaxing, you know, not really sure what's going on. You should get one. They're super cool. Just make sure you do your research because it's really sad when people don't do research and then their baby suffers. What tank gallon should I what gallon tank should I get my Beardy that is 5 years? Depends on the dragon. For example, Nyx is 7 years old. She is tiny, but she is a 7-year-old dragon. Okay, but again, she is small. I'm just going to note that. And she's in a 40 gallon. Now, Aether, my dragon that is twice her size, a male, and is only 2 to 3 years old, he is in a 75 gallon. Now, the reason for that is because Nyx didn't do well in a 75 gallon. She wouldn't bask, she wouldn't eat, she wouldn't do any of her normal lizarding things. Okay. But when I put her back in the 40 gallon, she did fine. She did fantastic. She's doing great. Like she does all the normal lizard things. I just think it was too much space for her. So with Aether, if he was in a 40 gallon, he would jump out of the 40 gallon. I mean, I'm talking push the lid off. That boy is nuts. So it really just depends on the dragon. You need to know your dragon. You need to know what they're comfortable with and just kind of gauge, you know, you just I don't know. It's really up to you and your dragon. What works best for that dragon? Bare minimum size is a 40 gallon breeder tank. You should not have anything smaller than that, but as long as you have a bare minimum of a 40-gallon breeder tank, not a 40-gallon tank, 40-gallon breeder, there is a difference. The breeders are wider, okay? And you'll be fine. Just go from there. Now, generally with bearded dragons, Nyx is kind of an oddball, but generally with bearded dragons, the more room, the better for them, the happier they will be. Why does my juvenile not eat his veggies and he eats his bugs more? So you should take a look at my juvenile dragon diet and my adult dragon diet. Go to my channel, go to the little search bar, click adult dragon diet, or just type diet and both of those videos will pop up under my channel. There is differences in it. Juveniles need more protein, so they're going to eat more bugs. Adults don't need as much protein, and as long as they have been cared for properly, have been introduced to food properly, all of that, then they should be eating greens more than bugs. Okay, so juvenile stage is anywhere from 10 months down, and then the adult stage is 10 months to a year old. So they don't fully sexually mature though until they're around like 2 years old, which is really confusing, but that's just the way it goes. So I would take a look at those diet videos, the difference between the juvenile diet and the adult dragon diet. Also, maybe go look at, if you need to, go look at my feeding list for bearded dragons. She is just big chillin'. Look at her. She's such a good baby. Can beardies eat grapes? Yes, they can, but their poo will be pretty watery. And also, if you are feeding grapes, generally, I would feed those by themselves after you've fed like the food for the day because they'll generally just want to eat those. And if you feed grapes and then try to feed something else, they're probably only going to want to eat the grapes and not eat whatever else you're trying to feed. Learned that the hard way. I really like the grapes. Oh wow, okay. Aw, thanks so much for joining, Hope and Pixie. Aw, thanks so much for loving the channel, Cecil. Love you too, more. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Aw, thanks so much for loving the channel, and I love you. Ow. I know y'all didn't see that, but I just hit myself. Okay. How do you treat fatty liver disease, and who isn't me, Bearded Dragon, interested in live dub roaches or crickets? How do you? I'm not sure what the second question is asking, but how do you treat fatty liver disease? That is hard. That's a really, really, really hard one. Um, so fatty liver disease generally takes down the iron as well. So first off, like you're probably, oh, I'm not a vet, but from what I have seen, um, somebody had contacted me with a bearded dragon that had fatty liver disease, and the first thing that the vet did was gave them an iron shot because their iron was super low. And the only reason why they found the fatty liver disease was because the iron was just so like low that they were almost anemic, and I don't know how that connects, but apparently it does. One they figured it out that way somehow. I don't know. Not a vet again. I'm just telling you what I know. And past that, they had to give a diet that didn't have a lot of protein because fatty liver disease in dragons occurs because you don't switch the diet. You don't give proper care. So a lot of dragons in captivity are obese and they get fatty liver disease and other issues like that. So you need to make sure that you are giving the proper diet. You're only feeding bugs 2 to 3 days out of the week. If they have fatty liver disease, only 2 days out of the week, and maybe just one. Make sure that you are feeding an ample amount of greens, fruits, veggies. They need their calcium. You need to make sure everything is exactly correct for them to get through that fatty liver disease. Once you've hit that mark, it's really hard to get out of it. Okay. Can you feed bugs daily to an adult bearded dragon? No, absolutely not. You should not. If you do that, then you will be right in the boat with the fatty liver disease dragons. What happened to Belly? Again, go watch the issue with vets video if you want to go learn that. How high should a bearded dragon's hammock be? It really depends. It depends if it's under the light or not. Like the only time you should have an issue with like it being too high is if it's too close to the light or if it's too close to the lid and them getting out. So like they shouldn't be directly under the light. You know what I'm saying? Like give them like 10 inches, 10, 12 inches under the light if you want to have the hammock under there. Why doesn't my bearded dragon eat his food? I actually have a whole video on this, why your bearded dragon won't eat their food. Go watch it. There's a whole video on it. Can you feed bugs daily to an adult dragon? No, you can't. What can you feed to a baby dragon? I have a whole feeding list video, same as an adult dragon. Oh, thanks so much, Jenna. I'm so happy the videos have helped. We are really struggling with our Birdie. We've had to make a lot of changes and treated for parasites over the last 2 months, and he still isn't eating properly or basking properly. So there isn't a whole lot I can do in this format. If you send me a picture of them, send me the meds or I mean, don't send me the meds, send me a picture of the meds that you were using. Um, and maybe I can help from there, see what other care, because like a lot of the times, especially if it's coccidia, people reinfect because they didn't clean properly and it's a whole issue. And no matter how many meds you give, it doesn't matter because it's still in the tank. So it depends. Send me pictures and maybe I can help you further that way. Oh, so many questions. I am definitely, we are at 22 minutes, y'all. I'm going to be cutting it off at 30 minutes. So I'm going to answer a few more questions. How long can you keep your baby bearded dragon out of his tank? Good question. So, I'm going to use Nyx as an example. So it's been about 30 minutes since she's been out of the tank, okay? She's starting to get a little antsy. Her beard, however, is not black. She is getting a little darker though, okay? So this is why I am cutting it off at 30 minutes because she is starting to show me that she wants to go back in the tank simply because she is a little bit darker. She's getting a little tiny bit antsy. She's being very patient because she's a good girl, but she is very much telling me that she would like to go back in the tank. She's very close for warmth. So those are general signs. You got to watch for their body language, their coloring. Make sure they aren't upset under the beard and all of that. And she is definitely getting more antsy. So, yeah, that's generally how you can tell. All right, you guys. How old should a bearded dragon be when I get it? I mean, it's really up to you. It depends how much work you're trying to give. Babies are a bit more work than adult dragons. Um, yeah, it's really up to you. Oh, I'm so happy I inspired you, Anna. I'm looking into Uromastics and I was wondering if they cost less to maintain than a Beardy. So for Uromastics and a Beardy, their cost is actually pretty much the same. for care wise. After you have bought all of their equipment and everything, their general care to, keep up with them and everything weekly is the same. Honestly, less because Uromastics don't eat bugs. I mean, they can, but you really should. They don't process protein like that. It's not good for them. So I'm only buying greens and stuff like that, and seeds and things like that. And my Uromastyx is not currently on loose substrate. She will be after I get her health up a bit more, you know. So that's another thing you have to add into the cost. My bearded dragons don't have loose substrate, so think about how often you have to change that. So it really just depends on what you have in the tank. Um, but generally, if you don't have loose substrate, and after you've bought all of the equipment and everything, the upkeep is pretty much the same. I mean, electricity might be slightly more for your Mastics because they need it to be hotter in the tank. But if you get a certain type of tank, you won't have that issue either. So I will tell you this. Though I have a glass tank right here, my Uromastyx is in this tank. Though I have a glass tank for my Uromastyx, the best tank for a Uromastyx is a wooden one. Okay? One where it only has glass in the front. It doesn't have a mesh lid. And then they have the lights built in on the inside because that holds the heat better and you won't have to use as much electricity. I'm gonna do that eventually, but this is what I have for her now and this is what's working. But that is just my tip for you, a pro tip, and the best care tip for them. So I hope that has helped. We are at 26 minutes. Let me see if I can answer another question. Why is my Beardy always going in his hide and not basking? There are many different reasons for that. It could be anywhere from brumation, them being ill, not having the right temps. Um, Generally those are the reasons. My Beardy's beard is the color yellow. What should I do? Some dragons' beards are yellow. My Nyx has an orange and white beard. I had a dragon that had a yellow and orange beard. There's some that have red beards. I mean, the beard color has nothing to do with their health. Scale color, yes. I mean, I get that there is the issue with yellow fungus, but their natural coloring, they can be so many different colors. And yellow fungus is pretty easy to spot. I mean, like it looks different out of everything else. Like it shouldn't look like a consistent pattern. Like it should look like something that's just like it shouldn't look right, okay? But them having color in their beards is nothing, like it's just normal. That's very normal for them. Okay, some of them don't have color in their beards, and that's just the dragon. Oh, a 12-year-old Beardy. That's awesome. Congrats. Ooh. All right. Have you had to put your hands under your bearded dragon's vents to stop them from popping all over your carpet, bed, clothing, etc.? Or does that just happen to me? Popping or pooping? Vents? I'm really confused by this question. Why are you trying to plug their butthole? Is the question. I'm so confused. Please don't plug your baby's butts. Like, just let them flow, man. Just let them poop, bro. Like, just don't. I don't know what you're doing, man. Why isn't my Beardy pooping? Well, hopefully you aren't plugging the butthole. Um, but it could be probably because they're impacted, your temps aren't correct. Maybe try giving them a warm bath. I also have a video on how to clear impaction. Try those. I love your channel. Also, do you recommend having Beardies as pets? I mean, I am LizardGuru and I have lizards, so I don't see why I wouldn't recommend. But yeah, I totally recommend them. They're pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. Like, what animal just chills there like that? They're pretty sweet. She's my girl. Love her. Um, yeah. So I would recommend. Alrighty, you guys, so it is almost at 30 minutes now. I have to go, but little Nixie and I, let me get her, my little tubby chunks. Little Nixie and I love y'all, and we'll see y'all later. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, Nick? Okay. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, yep, all right, we're gonna see y'all later. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, oh. Bye, y'all.